Hey, all my veggie people out there, I'm making a soup just for you, but it is so good, even the meat lovers will enjoy it too. So we're making a hearty and healthy lentil soup. Lentils is one of my favorite peas. I could eat that with rice and stewed chicken all day. And I've actually never tried it in a soup, but how difficult it could be. So you guys are going to be making the soup with me today. And we have cuisine lentil peas. Now for me, lentils is something that it is a very forgiving peas because once you season it up well, it kind of hard to mess up. So we're just going to improve or think about as if you're starting stew peas, and now we just adding more things to make it into a soup. And at the end, I will show you what I put in it to just take it up a notch, right? So we have some sweet potatoes, we have your carrots, we have pumpkin, we have your usual aromatics, your ginger, your pimento, your tomato, some chili flakes. We have some giro, which is going to give it a nice warmth, garlic, fresh thyme, and your bay leaf. So let me start this thing. Right, so we're gonna start with the peas, and obviously we're going to wash it and wash it well. So I'm probably using about, and I'm an eyeballer, right? So maybe about a half or 3/4 cup of lentil peas. This is feeding the producer and I today. I always have to feed the producer. So I'm gonna take this over to the sink and wash it up. Alright guys, so we're going to start, and I'll be using Waitrose extra virgin olive oil. I'll be using about 1/4 cup of this. It might seem like a lot, but in this soup it's going to be really nice and hearty, and it's going to give the dish nice richness, right? And right now everything, the fire is on low. We're just going to let that heat up a little bit before we add our onions. Now, fun fact about lentils, apart from the fact that I love them so much, it comes in red, it comes in green, it comes in brown. But do you also know lentil comes in yellow, which is what we will call split peas? I didn't have to Google that one, the producer told me, but I learned that today. See, you learn something new every day. Lentils is also known as the poor man's dish, you know, years ago. It's also very popular in Mediterranean climates, or countries I should say, and I've seen people do lots of things with burgers with lentils. They make burgers, they make meatballs, but today we are making a nice hearty soup. So now that the oil is heated up, I'm going to add the onions. Ooh. And that's what we want in the kitchen. We want noise, we want the sizzle, and we're going to let this cook a little bit until it becomes translucent. Now you can make this soup with more of a tomatoey base, like if you had like the canned tomatoes, you could use it. I kind of want to keep it more subtle, so we're just going to use fresh tomatoes. Right now I'll season with a little bit of salt and black pepper. Right, and now we're going to add the giro. Like I said, it's going to give it a nice warmth, and it's very fragrant, and I think it will go great with the lentils. Now the onions have become translucent. I'm just waiting for the tomatoes just to become a little more soft, and then we'll add in the other ingredients. But it's smelling great already. Right, so now we're gonna add the garlic. Lots of garlic because we want lots of flavor. Garlic, ginger. Ginger is one of my favorite aromatics to work with. Some chili flakes. You could eyeball that if you want it a little more spicy. You could add some more if you like. And bay leaf. Add that in now. Ooh, those flavors are really coming through already, guys. It smells heavenly. And it doesn't even have meat in it. Listen, food could be great and delicious without having the meat. Yeah, and there's some days I just sometimes don't feel for meat, you know. So we are going to add in the lentils now. And I'm just gonna let this toast in here or cook in here a little bit. Now you'll be seasoning to taste, right? I think I might need a little bit more giro, but I think I will add that when I add my liquid. So I'm gonna add the pumpkin now. You could add any kind of provisions that you want. Today we're using pumpkin. Woo. We're using a carrot, so it's nice and hearty, and also some sweet potatoes. So just gonna let this simmer just for a little bit, and by that I mean like maybe 1 or 2 minutes, just to make sure everything is incorporated. And I'm going to add in my coconut milk, which I just used the pack. This is 1 cup, and then I'm just gonna add 1 more cup of water. So this is the other. Pour it in. Nice. So at this point, you're just gonna raise the fire just a little, and you make sure you just smoosh everything down. And the vegetables and everything is at the same, the water that I added is up to the level of the vegetables. So it's not like too high. Yeah? And now we're just gonna add 2 or 3 sprigs of thyme. And then we're gonna cover for about 30 to 35 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. So it has been about 25-30 minutes, and our soup, according to the producer, is saying some things. It's the lentils still have their shape, and all of the veggies are nice and tender. We don't want it to turn to mush. We still want to have, you know, a little bit of a bite to it. So if you could see that there. I added a little bit more giro and some salt and pepper to taste before. So I know, it's good, it's good. So what I'm going to do now is transfer 1 cup of the soup separately, and I'm going to blend it up, right? And we have a fancy dandy immersion blender, which is the first time I'm going to be using it. So wish me luck. So we'll take it out, and the reason why we're doing that is just to give the soup, oh, let me take out this thyme here. It is to give the soup a nice texture. So we're gonna blend this up, and then it's gonna be creamy. So it'll give it some texture and also some color. And we have some ruku at the side there to also add some color to it. Right, so this is about 1 cup, right? Now I am a Calamity Jane in the kitchen. And there's a reason why they call this an immersion blender. You have to immerse it. So I'm going to make sure it's properly well immersed. And there are 2 levels. There's 1 and 2. So to be safe, I'm going to try it on the lowest level first. So here we go. Oh, okay, all right. So the 1 level ain't doing anything much. I'm gonna try it. Right. Okay. Right. Ooh. So this is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. So I like the color. It is like a kind of, what color is this? Kind of beigey, goldeny. It actually looking like it have a hint of turmeric in it, but it doesn't, right? So now we're just gonna add this back into the soup. Right, so if you could see here, it has now given the soup a kind of creamy consistency. Wow. And at this point, I'm going to add in my chopped kale. Now we all know kale is like a super green. So this is going to be your added fiber. And we're going to just let the kale wilt into the soup. This may take maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. So just pour it in, and I may add a little bit more water, but I love the color already. So for a little color, we'll add a little bit of the ruku, just a little. And the producer promised me to give me some. He's nodding in the back, so that means yes, I will get some to go with. And I'm just gonna add, a nice little color to it. So if you're already seeing like your kind of beige, goldeny brown, you have your little yellows from the sweet potato, you have your orange, and you have the green from the kale. So this is gonna simmer maybe just for about 5 minutes at most, and then we're going to add the final ingredient that is just gonna take it up a notch. So guys, so we are at the end. The kale has wilted down. Gosh, this is smelling so good. I mean, what could be more comforting than a bowl of soup? So I'm gonna take off the fire now. And this is the secret ingredient that I'm going to add. I know some of you might think I'm crazy, but I'm not. You're just adding a little squirt of lemon juice. It is just going to brighten it. This is actually a trick that I also use when I do stir-fry vegetables. I just add this at the end, and it's really just waking things up. So you just pour that in. Some people saying, oh gosh, she goes sour, the soup. No, I am brightening it. So we just pour that in, just incorporate it. And I am ready for some soup. So I have my bowl right here. But my son, this is the first time I'm doing this, right? Let me take out this thyme. Make sure and get some of the kale. And the soup will thicken. I don't like my soups too thick. I like it more brothy, but you could always add water. Let me just put a little bit more. And with this, I would sit down in front of the TV, maybe toast some bread, some garlic bread, and just dip. Let's try it and see. Depending on the ingredients that you use or the vegetables that you use, it could give it a sweet sort of slant. So the carrots are very sweet. There's still a little bite to the lentils. I'm getting the giro, I'm getting the ginger, I'm getting the garlic. It really is just a really, really hearty soup. And anyone would enjoy it. So try the recipe and let us know how you like it. Special thanks to Cuisine for sponsoring this episode of Simply Local. Cuisine products can be found in Massy stores nationwide. Now guys, look at this soup. I am going to dig in, and you should too.